travel far into the farthest north, you will find that the houses are fewer and farther apart, and all the roads join together to form one road. If you travel far enough along this road, you will come to a bridge over one of the rivers, and you will see a signpost. The sign points one way up the road and the other way down the road. But if you look hard enough, you will see a small white gate beside the bridge, and next to that gate is a notice which reads, "To the even farthest north, land of the McDorwuffs, friends welcome, polar bears and unfriendly people, keep out." There are rocks and mountains, deep lakes of water called lochs, rivers, streams and forests in the land of the even farthest north. In bad winters there are polar bears who come all the way from Iceland in search of food. And there are the McDorwuffs. McDorwuffs are very short. They might fall over in the high winds if they were any taller, and very fat on account of all the porridge they eat. They have long beards and wear kilts, which are like pleated skirts made out of brightly coloured patterned wool. The McDorwuffs are old as the land. When God made the rocks and hills of the even farthest north, he also made the McDorwuffs and set them as rock herds over the country. It is a busy life. All summer long, the McDorwuffs sweep and dust the bare rocks, arrange the grass, heather and gorse bushes in attractive shapes, and clean up after sheep and other animals. They also make beaches on the shores of the lochs and sea. Some are laid with fine yellow sand, but others are pebbly, with stones collected from far and wide. Red, green, blue, white stones, stones with a dusting of gold and silver, stones that wink and blink in the sun, big stones, small stones, striped, plain and speckled. The McDorwuffs love these pebble beaches best, and every McDorwuff has his own, of which he is very proud. Jamie McDorwuff was proud of his beach, which was very fine indeed. It was beside a large loch called Laxford, and was so beautiful that McDorwuffs came from far and near to admire it. But although he was proud, Jamie was never quite satisfied with his beach. It could always be made that bit better, he thought, and he worried that his neighbours might find bigger stones and make finer beaches. He grew so worried that he stopped looking after the rocks and hills of the even farthest north, and just sat on his beach all day long, polishing the stones and arranging them in more attractive patterns. The other McDorwuffs were upset and tried to talk to him, but Jamie thought they were going to take his beach away from him. So he put up a huge barbed wire fence with a strong gate at the only entrance. He put up notices saying, "Keep out everyone. That means you." The McDorwuffs had a meeting and decided to ask God for advice. They often took their problems to God. "It's like this, God," said Hamish McDorwuff, speaking for them all. "He's not a bad McDorwuff at heart. He's just got himself into such a state that no one can talk sense into him. And the hills that he's responsible for are in a dreadful state, dirty, neglected, and with sheep droppings all over them. Would you give him a talking to? He'd listen to you." And God listened and nodded and said he would do something, and the McDorwuffs were satisfied. But God didn't give Jamie a talking to, for that wasn't God's way.